Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Voice Notes by JustDabney, or Just Dabney Voice Notes, however you want to call it. So thank you for joining me again, and thank you for joining me for the first time if you're, just now listening to my podcast. We are available on Anchor.m, where it's mainly hosted. And if you are listening to the preview on YouTube, please click the link in the description where you can find this and other podcasts. Regardless of where you're listening to this on, please like, subscribe, share, follow. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, and now Amazon, in addition to, I think, 2 or 3 other platforms. So yeah, you ain't got no excuse. So I wanted to talk about how I almost got tricked into, or no, I didn't really get tricked into it. How I avoided the MLM Amway thing. Okay. Because when I was doing some research on this, a lot of people apparently get trapped into these MLMs. And again, this is just based on my experience. I don't want no company coming after me. Everybody has the right to review companies, or, not even review companies, but just talk about them based on the facts of their life. I just want to put that out there. Because it's not really Amway's fault or anything. It's really the fault of the people that be trying to get people to join the MLM. I'm sure MLMs are amazing for the people that they are meant to attract. The people who are doing good. I'm sure Amway is amazing. You really have to have the thing about MLMs is you can do good at them, but you really have to have a certain type of personality to be successful at them. And I am just not that girl. But luckily, so this is not based on my experience being in Amway. This is just based on my experience avoiding it. So, just giving people the tips and the heads up on what to look for when people are trying to get you into these MLMs, so that you can better decide if it's a right fit for you or not. Because I think just, a lot of people, they underestimate me. They think just because I might look a certain way, I might look younger than what they think I do, or, my voice that isn't deep enough. I don't know. They be underestimating me, but they don't know how smart I am. But I like that though. I like that because that way I know let me just go on a tangent. The reason why I like people underestimating me is that way I get to know their character. How do you treat people who you think are dumb? How do you treat people who you think are young, dumb, stupid, however, they would describe me. As far as being on a lower level, how would you treat somebody when you interpret their existence as being lesser than you, whether socially or economically? And that's why I don't really mind people underestimating me and estimating the knowledge that I have and the skills that I have. That's neither here nor there. I just want to get that out of the way. So let me tell y'all how it started. My friend reached out to me saying someone she knows wants to collaborate on a business opportunity or something like that, and that she was trying to get her to do it, but she wasn't ready at the time. It was something like that. And then so I was like, yeah, it's the pandemic, I'm not doing anything. But I was like, okay, I'll look into it. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know where she was from or anything. So she wasn't from or she didn't live in the same state as me. So that was already okay, is she moving here? What's the but yeah, so I set up we had a short phone call just to get to know each other, because she had some place to go, and yeah, it was at night, so it was our first meeting together was like a 5 to 10 minute phone call. Like, it was very short, regardless. So she was talking about mainly her, like she was talking about her most of the time, and then only a little bit of the time was actually spent on talking about what it is that she does. And she set it up like it was business coaching, and that was a turnoff because, like, why are we assuming I need coaching? Like, like, what is business coaching, and how does that work in terms of a business partnership? Because from my understanding, business coaches are pretty independent. They're almost like freelancers. But she mentioned it was a business coaching opportunity. So I was like, okay, business coaching, whatever, I can get with that. Then I believe it was during that phone call where I asked her to send a website, because she was like, we got a website and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like, send me, can you send me the website? She was like, she was super enthusiastic, super nice. That's the thing about this. It's like, she was so nice. She was, I was like, can I have the, y'all website where I can learn more about your business? Mind you, she never mentioned MLM or Amway or the other company that's under Amway. I forgot the name of it. I think it starts with the M or something, but I don't know. She never mentioned any of that. She just mentioned business coaching. So I was like, okay, I want to learn more about business coaching. Sure, why not? So she sent me a link to a website, which wasn't Amway. It was something else. It was the name of the company that's under Amway, or I think they manage the Amway sellers or something like that. It's something like that. So like, Amway really doesn't have responsibility in this case. It's whatever company is the one that's managing all of the sellers of the Amway products. So yeah, this really isn't about, it's still about Amway. It's MLM regardless. So so she sent me links to a podcast. I did the little sign-in thing, and then to a website. So I looked at it and I was like, what is business coach about this? Like, because first of all, she gave me the impression that she was the one in the podcast, and then she wasn't, which was another turnoff, because she said we have a podcast. So I'm thinking she does the podcast, like she is involved in the podcast, and she wasn't. It was like a bunch of other people that, who make a lot of money. But again, I didn't listen to all the podcasts, but I don't think Amway was mentioned during the podcast either. Like, it just seemed like the podcasts were set up to draw people in to get to another interview process or another meeting, so that people don't like look up the MLM that they're working with. So that was kind of weird. And the thing is, like, I still did the set up the Zoom meeting with her, and yeah, so got to know a little bit more about her, and then I shared some stories about me, whatever. I noticed during the phone, like during the Zoom, she still was not really talking about exactly what it is that she does. Like, it took so long to get to the actual point. And the thing is, like, I'm very familiar with concepts of business. I follow economics very closely for several reasons, because I do invest, and I want to know like what the trajectory of not just the US economy is, but the other economies that are going to influence whatever investments I'm looking at. And so I was just like listening to her, and I wasn't getting a sense that there was any business going on. Like it seemed like it was a club or something, like a little glee club or something. Like, I didn't know. It wasn't giving me the impression that there was any money being made. And because I wanted to get to the point, so I started, well, first of all, let me tell y'all what got me to that point was she started talking about what they do. So like what they do, even though I don't know what they do. Like, but she said some of the activities are like, you're going to these meetings and you're reading books. She said she'll send over some books to help me understand, business things and stuff like that. And it's like, this is what I like about people underestimating me. And it's like I'm not dumb. Like, really, millennials are not dumb. Like, we pretty much grew up on the internet, mostly, some of us anyways. And so we already have this knowledge at the tip of our fingers. Like, it's not something that we need to be coached on like that until you get to a level in your business where you start wanting to make a change or pivoting. Then maybe you might want to hire a business coach to help you figure out how to pivot your business, whatever. But yeah, it would just seem like she was like talking like I was dumb or something. And then she was talking about reading books about business and getting knowledge that way. And I do not if you want to read a book, you want to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you want to read whatever, you want to read whatever self-help book, do that, because that's how you gain knowledge. But at the end of the day, you don't need it to start a business. It's not, whenever I hear people starting a business, I never hear about a book being read. I hear about the logistics of it. Starting your LLC, your S Corp, your whatever Corp. What's the actual plan? Where's the loans? Where's the funding? What's the business structure? What's the system at which you're going to operate the business? I never hear about people reading a book. And I'm not saying that it's a scam to offer people that, because obviously books are very useful. But what I'm saying is that, to me, common sense is when you're talking about business and people are saying you got to read a book, you got to go to these meetings to learn how to start a business, instead of just simply telling you out of their mouth, but you got to do it through all these other parties, it gives the impression that it's a scam. But the real reason why I would not have joined it, as far as, being turned off by the books, is because I'm in a PhD program. You think I got time to be reading a book for fun? Not even for fun, but to be quizzed on some book that, like, no. So, and I hate quizzes too. I hate tests. I do horrible on tests. So I got to read a book. Then they're going to quiz me on it, or we got to discuss it like we're in a book club. I ain't never joined a book club in my life. I don't intend to. I don't even like journal clubs. Yeah, so I was like, okay, she was talking about all the group activities, and remind you, I'm not that type of person. I'm not a school activity. I'm not a participatory school spirit type person. And I feel like the type of people that like to be in clubs or like to be in group activities for something that's not ultimately their passion, I think it's kind of getting into a territory of social life that is not conducive to the type of personality I am. So the fact that, apparently with whatever group they have, everybody's a family, blah, blah, blah. That's not something that's not going to be an attracting characteristic of anything for me. But I let it continue because I was like, she's really enthusiastic about it. Like, let me hear what else is going on. Mind you, I still don't know this is an MLM. I still don't know it's Amway. I still no, I don't know. So then, I still don't exactly know what it is she exactly does or exactly how it's done, until I ask, okay, I actually just outright ask, okay, where are the products at? Like, how much they cost? Where's the quality of I was more focused on what's the bottom line here? What are the products? Where are they? What type of products? Because I want to do some research on them, see if they're worth my time, promoting or selling, and then she was talking about websites, and I'm like, okay, so you start your website, and I'm gonna mention something. I want to mention something that I asked her that she was kind of taken aback by, but yeah, she was mentioning. Hey, thank you so much for making it this far in the podcast. But if you want to listen to the rest, please check the link in the description where you can find all the other places where the podcast is hosted, or you can just simply listen for free on anchor.fm. Bye.